So now we added sweeping to pitch. Old parts, new parts. Time to repair this tiny damage. First cutting with the hot wire. At first some repairs were necessary. Cutting with this hot wire is a really good alternative to cutting in the normal way with some sharp knife. The machine was set to maximum power and the cut speed was much slower than through styrofoam, but at the end it works well. Next sanding. Oh, let's go on. Tuning. Now we are on the... What are we doing, David, at the moment? Yeah. For all the rudders, because at the moment they are moving too less. Could you take up the plane and shake it a little bit that we see? Okay, rudder is moving, elevator looks good, and aisle? Good aisle? Yeah. I would say this looks good, not too much, not too less. It's okay. And let's see our new fuselage horse. Wonderful. So now we do transition from vertical start to normal flight and check the amps. Disarming. Okay. So the maximum current for vertical flight was 107 amp and for horizontal flight 65. So now transition simulation. Vertical takeoff. This was especially done to see if the sweeping servo is strong enough and also if the BEC can handle all these servos moving simultaneously. The new PID settings allows starting into the workshop. The jet hovers absolutely precise and uses very less amp. I think was hovering with about 60 amp. This allowed 4 minutes of hover time with a 5S 4200 milliamp battery. After this first success, we went back to the airfield on a very windy day. The flight behavior of the JRM-VTOL was very different to hovering in the workshop because of these winds. I felt that there was not this big power.
Ja, das ist der Wind. Das ist der Wind.
I also needed much more throttle to keep the jet hovering, while in the workshop it was about 60%, here was already at nearly 80%.
Und wenn du den jetzt genau stellen mal mit der Nase in den Wind.
I also needed nearly 100% pitch forward to keep the position and fly against the headwind. Today's video is sponsored by PCBWay, which offers you great prototyping services like CNC machining, sheet metal forming and 3D printing. They offer a big variety of many different materials. You can easily drag and drop your projects on their website and they will manufacture it for you and send it within 24 hours if needed. They got great machines and great services, so check out their website PCBWay.com. As the wind speed gets up, hovering become much more uncomfortable because I felt I was on nearly 100% power and there was not much left for self-stabilization on the jet, so it became stumble and unstable.
Was hätte ich jetzt hin?
And the whole thing became worse when I started climbing. At first we were not sure if there is more wind and more height or is it because we need more power for climbing.
Ja, das ist der Differentialanteil, glaube ich.
Scheiße.
Mach den Motor aus, ja.
Even after this first crash landing, we were optimistic that we can handle this with tuning the PIDs. Even as the first flight moments felt it was getting better, it was really getting worse. This roll movement was not introduced by myself, I think it was done by a wind gust, and the flight computer has no power left on the wing fans to compensate it, and so the jet flipped over, make half a roll, I think at the end one roll, and luckily landed just on the nose, so it was not totaled. Here we can see it again, how it first starts rolling, shaking, and then flipping completely over. And we were very lucky that we didn't hit the pylon.
Ja, erstmal wieder schweben.
Mach mal die Transition, dann nur den Schalter, damit man... Oder geht es nicht? Ach doch, ja. Das sieht ja mal lustig aus. Das ist jetzt vorne ein Kleiderhaken.
Dein Arschtritt.
Aber das ist jetzt ein Kleiderhaken, mobiler. Schwebender Kleiderhaken. Das ist dieser Siemens Lufthaken.
Ja, das ist so ein Arschtritt-Ding.
Das ist der Siemens Luft.
Oh, guck mal. Deswegen ging's nicht. Der sieht ja auch doof.
The missing parts on the fuselage were compensated with some lead, and even here on the next start there was a technical problem. I think I also bonded the front lift fan door so it doesn't open, and the jet doesn't start, but it doesn't flip over, so some interesting thing to learn. Wind was still blowing a lot, but we were still optimistic that we can handle all these things with just PID settings. Here we put much more throttle on the center EDFs so that they carried much more load, and the 3-copter EDFs can run on a lower RPM on idle. Idle means here normal hovering, so that there is much power left for compensating gusts and for climbing. And again, there were moments where we were getting really optimistic, even as the hover time decreases from about 4 minutes into the workshop or on no wind to here on the outside with much wind to just little above 2 minutes, and the battery was really getting warm, so the hover amps also raised from 60 amp to I think about 80 amps. So it was much more power needed to keep this thing hovering here on a windy day.
So the idea is for forward flight, for pitch, they're just sweeping the main nozzles, that we don't have to angle the whole, I better show it this way, that we don't have to angle the whole jet, because this gives a lot of down lift and we lose a lot of energy. Yeah, but seems not to be easy, David?
Ja, not so easy.
Not easy. So now we added sweeping to pitch, that we don't have to tilt the whole plane. We sweep the main EDF just for forward flight and just in drone mode. Okay, let's test it.
Even if the import movement of the main EDFs were not that big, the gyro stabilization movements were so big that there was a next crash.
So, ich glaube, das ist ein bisschen zu doll mit dem Pitch.
So David, now you know?
Ja, I think so.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally. On the last flight, the correction, the stabilization was too much. The EDFs run into the horizontal position, so there was no vertical thrust. That's why we flipped over and damaged the elevators. But we got some old new ones. What's the problem? The main EDF are correcting much too much. They just should correct about 10 degrees and not like this 80 or something. Yeah. This we have to limit now. Ich muss diesen wunderschönen Zustand festhalten. Hard life for VTOL Jet. Programming.
Our main focus was on compensating the headwind components, not by tilting the whole jet or nick movement. We want to keep it horizontal and just sweep the main EDFs, that there is not just a vertical vector, also a forward one. But then suddenly, out of nowhere, I was losing control again. Here in this situation I was pitching 100% forward, but even this doesn't help that the jet wants to flip backwards over. As it was getting later and the wind calms down, we decided together that we want to do a transition attempt. To make it as safe as possible, I was climbing very slow, because we finally figured out that there was not enough power on this jet for stabilization, climbing and also controlling. The problem was, or the weak point is the two wing EDFs. They have to work on pitch and roll and also climbing, and this is too much for them. They are also too close to the CG, so they doesn't have a good momentum, even if they are already installed maximum afterwards. This is caused by the design of the wing or the wing position, but nevertheless we want to use this sunny day, and we got the same result like some minutes before near the ground. As soon as the main EDF swept to horizontal, the wing fans are not strong enough to hold pitch position and the whole jet flips over. I was nearly able to fulfill the looping, but without the vector nozzles I didn't have enough pitch authority, so it smashed into the ground.
If it doesn't mention it already, our jet crashed, and our theory why this happens is the following. For normal hovering we have enough extra power for leveling. Yeah, I hover with about 60%, so we have 40% left for regulation of the horizontal position. But when there is wind, I have to pitch forward, so I need extra power from here. So from my 60% I have maybe, let's say 80, I'm on 80, so just 20 is left for roll stabilization. And when I additionally climb, then I'm here already on, let's say, nearly 100%. So there is nothing left, just nothing. And that's why when I fly forward against the wind and climb, that's why it stumbles and get out of control. And the second thing, while the transition, there we are not super sure what happened when the main EDF sweep backwards. So now let's talk about what happened while the transition. While the transition, we sweep the EDFs backwards. David, let's sweep. Go to transition mode. So, and then immediately the nose goes up, and we are not quite sure why this happens, because the vector goes exactly through the CG. So normally there is no change in the momentum when we do transition. David, again. So, but we think the distance.
Ich weiß nicht, was er macht.
It's okay. Momentum between the EDF and the CG is a little bit too short. So there is not enough power from these EDF, which are already running on nearly 100%, that they are able to pitch forward. So on the next prototype we will use bigger EDFs, bigger fans, which are moved slightly backwards. So we got more power, better momentum, yeah, and then we try it again.
It was obvious that major changes are necessary on this VTOL design. So the idea was to use bigger rotors. At the moment there are 75mm props installed, and they will rise to 89. This will add about 250 grams thrust on each fan, and also a fourth fan on the rear will be installed to get a much better pitch momentum. And here we can see the changes in detail on SolidWorks. At first we have to enlarge the whole wing, that the new bigger wing fan fits, and also the doors has to be enlarged and also reinforced, that it doesn't bend while open and closing, and luckily everything fits, that there don't have to be some major changes and the physics has to be done. Then we went on with the front fan. Here it was necessary to widen the fuselage, also to reshape the short ducting, that we went from a circle to a square or on the lower side, that there is still enough place for the wire channel and also for the carbon rod reinforcement. With this zebra outfit, we checked if the alignment or the outer shape is still looking good. At the end, we were quite happy that this really big fan finally fits. And also the ducting looks really good and aerodynamic. And then it was time to implement the fourth fan, that we went from a tricopter design to a quadcopter. But this won't work like a quadcopter, because quadcopter has yaw control by different RPMs from the 4 motors, and this is not possible for us, because this will mean a lot of thrust loss. So we stay on these vanes, on these movable vanes on the front fan, so that all 4 rotors can run on maximum speed and can provide maximum thrust. And you see here it was hard to fit them in. It was really close, but again we were lucky that the fan fits at the end quite perfect. Also, we created some nice grill to hide it good as possible, that it is just minimum visible. Last step was the installation of the fan door servo. This runs on 180 degree with a reinforced servo arm to make sure that there is no bending while open and closing this big cover door. And so the whole fuselage now is full with technique from the beginning to the end. You can see it here. At the rear is the vector servo, then comes the fan, then comes the flight controller, sweeping servos. So it is completely full. And here you can see the vector nozzle moving. We also build up all the ESCs to make sure that nothing disturbs and everything fits perfect. Here we simulate the assembly of the battery, and you can see at the moment it hits the attic or the upper area of the fuselage. So we do a little cutout, and now it gets in and out nice and smooth. And this is the pitot tube for the speed, for the airspeed was installed here. We will provide two front fuselage parts, 2 different ones, one with and one without. And last but not least, of course, we built a nice horse that you can easily test the transition mode with the retracts without hitting the ground. Yeah, and this was it for this video. I want to say a big thank you to David and his father Henry for supporting and helping out on this project. I think the STLs will be ready in some days. Then I will reprint the whole jet, and I'm super looking forward that with this new stronger motors it will finally work. So check out our website AeroJTP. The new VTOL version will soon be released. And if you'd like to support us, you will find a Patreon link underneath in the video description. Here we will show a lot of behind the scenes material and keep you up to date. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.